Hi everyone! I'm going to show you how to assemble what I like to call your loom for straw weaving. You need some yarn, and I'm going to do this with 4 pieces of yarn today. You could really do this with as little as 2, or I've seen as many as 30 or 40 straws wide. 4 is just a nice number to start with. My yarn is about, I measured it, I think it was about 36 inches long. It's a nice size to do something like a bracelet or a bookmark. So I'm gonna take the end of my yarn, and if it kind of frays a little bit, you can kind of twist it just a little bit. And you're gonna take that and thread on 1 bead. It doesn't matter what color your bead is, because that's not gonna be in your final weaving. That's just there to keep your yarn from falling down into your straw. I'm folding my yarn in half so that I have a loop with my bead on one end, and then I have the other 2 ends of my yarn here. Okay. Then I'm gonna take those 2 ends of my yarn, and I like to give them a little bit of a twist so that they go in easier, and I'm going to put them into my straw. This is a smoothie straw. I find that they are the easiest to use. I've tried milkshake straws, they're a little bit too big. Drinking straws are sometimes a little bit too small. I can just kind of push my yarn through my straw until it comes out to the other end. Once it comes out the other end, I'm going to pull it all the way through, and that bead is there on the end, and that's what's going to keep my yarn from falling down into my straw. Okay? If it gets stuck, if you're using a little bit smaller straw and you have a hard time getting the yarn to come all the way through, you can actually take and put it up to your mouth and kind of suck in and kind of pull that yarn through. That helps sometimes. I have already done that to 3 other straws so that they're ready to go. You can use all the same color straws. Your straws are not in your final weaving, but I happen to have a couple different colors of straws, so I used 2 different colors. That way it helps me see my A-B pattern, because I've got my yellow, then my pink, then my yellow, then my pink. And I'm just gonna kind of roughly line up my straws. They don't have to be perfectly in line. They're gonna move around just a little bit when you weave. And don't worry about if they're completely even across the bottom. My straws were really long, and so I cut them in half to give me this length. Once I have them to this length, I'm gonna put a piece of tape on here to hold it just for a little while, and then I'll take off the tape once my yarn starts holding everything together. Okay, here is my piece of tape, and I'm just gonna lay it towards the bottom of my straws so that I have a little bit of room up there to work, and stick it to one side. Then I'm gonna pick up my straws, flip them over, and then my tape kind of sticks together right there and makes a little tail. For my students, I usually have them use a Sharpie, and this is where I have them put their name and their class code just for the first day, because then that piece of tape is going to end up being taken off. Once they're done having it here, I either put it in a baggie for them with their name, or we'll have a knot at this end, and sometimes we can put a piece of tape down here at the knot at the bottom of our weaving. So I'm going to go ahead and start this weaving real quick, just so that you know kind of how to get it started. I'm not going to finish it in this video, but I will get it started. I'm going to take my yarn here and tie it into just kind of a loose knot, because sometimes I like to untie that later and make my end look a little bit nicer. And then I'm going to take another piece of yarn. This one's kind of a variegated blue and pink and purple. And to start, I usually just tie it around 1 straw. So I went in between here, and I'm just going to tie a little knot. And then I'm going to start weaving. So I'm going to go in front of my pink straw, behind my yellow straw, in front of my pink. When I get to the end, I wrap around. So now my pattern is reversed. I'm going behind my pink straw, in front of my yellow, behind the pink, in front of the yellow. Wrap around, so it's behind the yellow, in front of the pink, behind the yellow, in front of the pink. And I'm just gonna keep up that pattern, and I just go back and forth. And sometimes my beads kind of start to get loose a little bit on the top. I can just kind of pull down from the bottom, that kind of straightens everything out. And you can see that my weaving is starting to form here. I don't want to wrap super, super tight because then I can't push things down. But I'm going to push it down to the tape, and then I'm going to keep weaving. Once I fill up a good inch or two of weaving, then I can take off my tape, and my yarn is actually going to hold my straws together. So, okay, thank you for watching.